Alrighty, here is a video on how to make a large pinch pot bowl. So you need to start with the big piece of clay, and I say it's got to be something around the size of your fist. You need a cup of water and fabric. Now, this is going to be the hardest part, believe it or not. The first step is to stick your thumb as far down into this ball as you possibly can. You should basically not be able to see your thumb at all. Then you need some strength in your hands to pinch, and when I'm pinching, I'm going like this. I'm not pinching with my crab claws. I'm going like this with a straight hand. And this clay I've recycled, so it's a little bit dry, but I'll show you how to address that. So keep your thumb all the way down and just pinch and turn, and pinch and turn. Like this hand is kind of just twisting, and this hand is pinching, and you'll notice that the opening is getting bigger. Once it's big enough, because this is such a big piece of clay, you can take both thumbs and put both thumbs in, and you're just going to keep on pinching and turning and pinching and turning and pinching and turning. And honestly, guys, do this with your eyes closed. You're going to think it's crazy, but with your eyes closed, you can feel where you need to pinch harder. You can feel where there's a big, thick area of clay, and you can also feel areas that are a little bit thin and that you should not pinch hard. So you need to be in touch with what you're doing. Of course, you can open your eyes and look every so often, but this is getting a nice big opening. Depending on the clay that you're using, if you're experiencing cracking like this, you can get some water and try to move the water along to smooth those cracks. You don't want to really pinch the rim. This is the rim, this top part, too thin ever. So I'm pinching, but I'm not going to pinch too thin. I'm just going to kind of keep it about the width of my finger. And as you can see, your hand is a great tool for measuring. Alrighty, so I can stretch this to be pretty big, but it has to be slowly. So now, can you see on the video, I'm kind of taking my hand and I'm pinching, and I'm gently dragging my thumb along the inside. And I'm not just doing it along the top part, I'm doing it down here as well. And I'm just kind of pushing out to make this opening bigger. And I keep turning. I'm trying to work the clay evenly, and I'm feeling the walls. These are the walls. I'm feeling the walls, and if it feels really thin, I'm gonna leave it alone. And right here, it feels pretty thick, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my thumbs, and I'm gonna kind of drag gently, and when I see cracking, stop what you're doing and add water. So down in the bottom, I can even like kind of scoop and pull up. But this hand is supporting the bottom of my pinch pot. So slowly working this, being very mindful of the areas of the walls that are really thin and making sure that you're not pressing hard. If you notice, my fingers are not going in here. It's usually my thumbs. Because what I notice with people is once the fingers start going in, they start pulling this out way too wide, okay? I can feel it's pretty thick at the bottom still, so I'm gonna go ahead with my thumbs and just try to drag some of that clay up the walls. If this starts flopping out, stop yourself, and you can do something called choking, which, you know, it actually looks kind of like choking. So you want to wet the rim, and then you're going to just take your hands and try to like choke around and squish that clay back together, and then smooth. Also, something else that could help is you can turn it upside down, and you can pat, pat, pat. And then while I'm like this, I'm going to go ahead and smooth some of these cracks. See, there's some cracking over there. And the reason it's cracking is because I am using older clay, and it was like scrap pieces. So I'm just smoothing. Not too much water, you don't want it to get too slimy, but enough. Okay, so now you're gonna tap, tap, tap so that it's a stable bottom, so that the bottom has like a flat area. Then you can have fun with kind of pushing this into a shape that you like. And I'm kind of like, you know, pinching and dragging the walls out like this because I want mine to be a little oblong. So basically you can form this into a shape that you like. You can leave it round like that, or you can kind of pinch it together and make it a little bit wider. And then I'm just gonna drag my thumbs out. But nothing I do is aggressive. I'm being pretty gentle, and you just have to be mindful with your clay and keep your eye on it, and also keep feeling where it feels weak. And if it's weak, don't push that part too much. Once I have the shape that I like, I'm gonna just work on smoothing and trying to, you know, eliminate some of those cracks and those bumps and areas of uneven clay. I'm not so concerned with the inside right now. This is a good technique. If you pinch the edges and then kind of go like this, that'll help the rim. The rim is important for aesthetics, for the way that it looks. So you want to pay attention to the rim, and then you want to pay attention to the outside. So I'm going to try to work on that first, and then if I feel like I've got a lot of time or patience, I can go ahead and try to smooth the inside. But right now I'm focusing on the shape of it, the rim, making sure it has a flat bottom, and I think that's pretty cool. So this is another shape for a clay pot that you could do. Now I'm going to be using this with my 5th graders to hold their little cacti sculptures that they started making, and I have a video for that. So we're going to be putting sand and maybe some rocks in here, and then we're going to be sticking our cacti in there. So this is one of the options on how to make a pot. And of course we're going to be adding, you know, decorations to the outside. So this is not done, and I'm not going to keep working on video, but I will work on it, and I'm going to show you all the finished products after I'm done. So I'm going to keep on working on this off video, and you guys can go ahead and have a good time.